Great. A very good evening to everybody who's taken us out the time to join us today. We see the numbers increasing drastically. Thank you so much for joining us for this session today. Perfect. Tulika, over to you. I think we have a good number. Let's get going.
Thank you, Sana, and a very good evening to all the participants who have joined in for today's session. So I welcome you all to today's webinar, which is brought to you by Mindler and Flame University. And I think that you must be aware of what the topic is. It's basically unlocking an incredible range of 300 plus career options through a bachelor's degree in liberal education. And I hope you'll find this session insightful. We can see the numbers increasing. Maybe we can give it a few minutes before we begin with the main thing. Quickly in the chat box in the meantime, if there are students, parents, can you just put in information, maybe your school name, you're in which grade from where you're joining in, so that we can like have a little reference to whom we are interacting with. You can use the chat box, you can use the Q&A segment if you have any questions out there. Okay, I feel like people are okay. Okay, so we can see students from all over the place. It's not just one city that we are seeing. Great to have you all here for today's session. So as I said, like today we'll be discussing about the various opportunities that a liberal education gives you. So when we talk about liberal education, let's understand. Imagine having a degree that empowers you to combine your interest, develop critical thinking, and adapt to the ever-changing landscape of career education. So that's the essence of liberal education, a pathway that focuses on multidisciplinary learning, creativity, and problem solving. Liberal education goes beyond the conventional degrees. It's not just about physics or literature, it's about how physics can intersect with art or how sociology can empower business decisions. So, just a quick question to everyone out there. Have you ever thought of that this kind of opportunity can be provided to us? Or maybe you're thinking about applying to such universities as well? Okay, we have teachers as well joining us. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming here. Right. So I am Tulika Chatterjee. I'm a senior career coach here at Mindler. And today we'll explore how liberal education can unlock diverse opportunities tailored to your passions and goals. So we have like the people from Flame University, we have a present student, we have an alumni, we have a director of admissions who will help you understanding that how Flame University will be a pathway or a gateway to your future goals. So when I talk about like Flame University, it plays a pivotal role in this journey, offering a multidisciplinary curriculum. So, without much further ado, I'd like to introduce the speakers for today. So, when we talk about Anju Dioskar, I welcome you, Anju, here. With 22 years of rich experience in education, Anju's journey began in prestigious IB schools like the International School Bangalore and Indus International School, where she nurtured young minds as an educator before transiting into administrative and operational roles. At Flame University, Anju leads outreach activities across India and internationally, with a special focus on regions such as Middle East and Africa. She oversees strategic planning, communication, and various facets of the application and admission process. Her role involves close collaboration with school counselors and educators from secondary schools, offering diverse national and international curriculum. I welcome you, Anju, to today's webinar.
Thank you so much, and a very good evening to everyone.
Thank you so much, Anju. We also have a student from Flame University, Miss Vandana Bhaskar, who has a major in sociology and a minor in public policy. So Vandana is a student at the Flame Scholars Program, postgraduate diploma in interdisciplinary studies, and is currently interested and working with disciplines of medical history, medical humanities, and anthropology. Her research interests include end-to-life care and pediatric nephrology and framing of pediatric death. Her current dissertation project, Aging and Representation, community mental health interventions in Karnataka, environmental and climate change, and the social reproduction space speciality, the expanding city. She has also presented her Discover India project titled Jongore Nesha, Adversity, Affliction and Addictions in the Sundarbans, West Bengal, co-authored by Dr. Sinjini Mukherjee at an international conference, 7th Annual South Asia Conference, Ireland India Institute, Dublin City, University, Dublin, Ireland. I warmly welcome you, Vandana, for today's webinar.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
We
having me.
also, we also have an alum of Flame University, Mr. Mohit Krishna. He did his major in applied maths with a minor in design, and he's currently working at a corporate gifting firm in business development in Dubai. We welcome you, Mohit, for today's webinar. Okay. Right. So, to know more about Flame University, and without much further ado, I would like to hand over to my colleague, Ms. Sana Jamal, who is also a senior career coach at Mindler, to take the session forward. Over to you, Sana.
Thank you so much,
Just
Tulika.
before that, Sana, I'm just going to introduce Sunilesh. She's also a current student in the third year at Flame University.
Right.
And Sunilesh, you want to just quickly give a brief introduction, and Sunilesh will be answering to all your chats while the session is going on, so that you're receiving the information alongside.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Miss Sana. Thank you, Miss Tulika. Yes, Vandana and Mohit, student alumni. I'm a current student, third year undergraduate student at Flame University, pursuing BSc Data Science and Economics, and loads of interest, enjoying the campus life at Flame. And I'm sure as the session goes on, I'll be able to answer most of the queries that is posed in the chat box.
Great. Thank you, Sunilesh. Great. Thank you so much to all our guests for joining us today. Now, without any further ado, I already see we have such a diverse range of participants. I was just reading through, there are students, parents, career counselors, teachers who are wanting to know more about not just liberal ed, but also the kinds of courses. So we have a set of questions, which I know is a question of a lot of students present here. Anju, let's start with you. If you could please give us a quick overview of what kind of undergraduate programs are offered at the Flame University. I could see so many different programs, even when the students have passed out, from data science to eco to design, and I'm sure there is much more diversity to that. Can you please throw some light on that?
Absolutely. So, good evening, everyone, once again. And please, the attendance is really nice. Please make the most of this group of speakers that you have. You have somebody who understands the program, there's somebody who's pursuing the program, somebody who's graduated from here. So, I think we'll be able to take your questions from various standpoints. So basically, what happens is when we are talking about Flame University, a lot of people think that it's just a university where if you're confused, you can it just helps you to go and then figure out for a year and then decide what you want to study. While that may be true for some of them, but ideally, I think somebody who's not yet decided, there are a lot of aspects to the journey that the student starts at the first year. Students like yourselves have a great opportunity to be counseled by the team of Mindler counselors, and they constantly telling you about what are the careers available to you. And then what we normally do is we decide the career and then we backtrack and say that, hey, you know what, I want to study this so that it leads to this career. Now, while that's good for a lot of people, but then when it comes to liberal education, I think we want to, the purpose of education, I would definitely very confidently say, and I have current students present with me, so I cannot lie. While you are learning what you want to learn, but you're not learning to get a job, you're learning to for the sake of learning. And when you do that, then all of these other things make in place, because the first year really, I think, trains you and equips you with certain skills that you're able to learn better, ask smarter questions, and do certain projects, and you pick up your courses accordingly, so that you do what you really want to do, and you can make connection that this is something I'm doing and why I'm doing. So in the first year, students at the university do not have to declare any major or minor. So when you apply to the university, you simply apply for the undergraduate program, and along the way, after you finish your first year, then you say that, I want to major in psychology, but I want to minor in maybe public policy. That's an option. So there's so many combinations available for students, because we offered about 25 majors and 27 minors. So there's lots and lots of combinations, actually add up to almost 400 now. First year is about exploring. Second year, you declare your major minor, and then for the next 2 years, you continue to study. And at Flame University, you also have an option to exit after 3 years, should your goal align to a 3-year degree, which means that maybe you're doing a 2-year postgraduate in India where 3 is enough. Or maybe if you're going somewhere where 4 years undergraduate degree is required, or you're so inspired doing maybe a subject, and then you want to really like, for example, Vanna is doing the 4th year, so she wants to do some more research into the subject that you're doing. So this is your choice. This is not that you have to, it's not like a cookie cutter kind of a experience for our students. Now once you do that, this is the overview that you just asked me. So we have 5 faculties: faculty or School of Liberal Education, School of Computing and Data Science, School of Business, School of Communication, School of Fine and Performing Arts. Now all of these areas of knowledge, which literally land you in different degrees if you actually see, but you don't have to give away one choice because it is more associated with some career that you're going to choose, to give up something that you're really passionate about. You can actually study about your passion, and also pick up a course that kind of inspires you to be a certain professional. The degrees that we offer are of BA, BSc, BBA Communication, and Bachelors of Design. Like I mentioned, we have almost 400 major minor combinations now. This is not the most updated number that I have. First year is all about foundation courses. You explore the breadth of knowledge. Maybe you're a humanities student, try a subject in in finance or commerce somewhere. If you're a commerce student, you can try subjects in humanities. You want to study philosophy, or you want to take a course in maybe poetry, or there's so many things that you can learn. Or maybe you're curious to know what is public policy, and you want to see if that works for you, or what is international studies. There's so many options the students have. And after that, then you specialize and declare one major and one minor, and that's what you study throughout the year. This is what we like to have. But there are some students who do not want to declare their minor, and then those students can also have, they can learn different courses as minor to fulfill their requirements of minor, the certain number of credits that they must have. But just in case these students want to do the 4th year, then you'll have to declare your major in the 4th year. It's not difficult even then, because then you'll have to declare one minor and take up more courses within that range. And the faculty at Flame University is absolutely amazing. They are very, very helpful, and they'll guide you through the process. But again, that's not the decision that you make towards the end of the 3rd year. You make that decision in the beginning of the 3rd year. So you still have time to plan what you want to do and how you want to study. So this was about the overview. Now this is something that's very interesting. So in the first year, students have to pick up courses which kind of helps them to develop certain skills, because like you just type the question in the beginning, tell us which city, which school you're from, and I just saw some names, and they were really diverse. Somebody's from Chennai, somebody's from Mumbai, like all the mixed crowd that I just saw. Similarly, there are, the metros, and then you have tier 1 to 3 cities. And let's be honest, we are very diverse, and the kind of opportunities available to one section vis-a-vis the other are very, very different. We also have students who also come from our, some neighboring countries, and their experience is different as well. So as an institution, we like to believe, and this is philosophy, or conceptually absolutely fitting to what actually liberal education stands for, from other standpoint. But what I'm telling you from just India standpoint, because the starting point of a student who comes from maybe a pathways of sorts from Gurgaon vis-a-vis somebody who comes from, a small, KV from JNK, or someone comes from maybe some other small city in Jharkhand. They may come from anywhere, right? These are good students. We have selected them, and now they're on campus with completely different set of skills. The starting point may be different, right? So how does an organization or an institution take up some courses so that you level up the playing ground, so that everybody has certain set of skills to at least start with? Because when you start your major minor courses, the coursework is rigorous, depending on what subjects you're picking up. So these skills that you see, these courses that you see on the screen just now, these are basically, I would say that they're almost like life skills, because these will remain with you for life. These are not just that you're giving an exam and you'll forget about it. Just a simple course like, in financial literacy, how important it is for the young students to just know about, maybe just the effect of compounding, like your first job, and you start saving a little money, and then at least you can imagine and make a decision, right? Or maybe introduction to applied ethics. Who's going to tell you? Because there's so much of fake, so many options, where so many scams and unpleasant things are happening in the society. You are aware about certain things around yourself. Similarly goes for public speaking, academic writing. All of these skills, when you learn, they're actually transferable, which means if I'm learning academic writing, I'm going to apply it in my public policy class. I'm also going to apply in my data science class, or whatever class I take, right? So now this kind of levels up the playground for every kind of student coming from anywhere, any board, any city, to Flame University. Apart from that, every student in the first year must pick up two courses from all the 5 areas of knowledge that we listed. We call them universes of knowledge at Flame. This allows you to, explore the breadth of knowledge, because as a degree, you may be choosing a BA, BBA, or a BSc, but in your real life, a student who's doing BA, it's not that you're going to be associated with only what you've studied. You're going to be exploring and exposed to so much of other things, and the basic level of understanding about different areas of knowledge will only help you understand your society better, and also give you, that's number one, right? That's the purpose of liberal education. The second thing is that while you were in 11th and 12th, you were under certain influence, or there were certain trends happening, because of which you said, I'm going to study philosophy and something. And then when you come to the campus and you say that, hey, you know what, this is not the subject for me. I want to study maybe political science or economics, or one of public policy, or one of these subjects. So in the first year, you also get to explore a lot first-hand experience sitting in that economics class and understanding what economics is at undergraduate level. Is it my cup of tea? Is it too tough for me? It's tough. I want to take it. So let me pick up a minor where I can balance my time. I have to put less effort in the minor, and I have to put more effort here. So all of that, your academic journey planning goes into this part. Once you finish that, then you have to declare a major and a minor. This is what it looks. And after this slide, I'm going to finish my answer to the first question. So here, like I mentioned, when you come to the university, you just apply to an undergraduate program, and your degree actually becomes incidental, right? So for example, if I have economics as a major and I have advertising and branding as a minor, my degree will be a BA. But if I flip it and say I'm doing advertising and branding as a major, and I still keep economics as a minor, my degree becomes BBA, communication management. So just imagine And this is what is actually liberating education, where you don't have to, squeeze and, change to fit into a box which has already been, decided by the university, or, a program which is pre-decided. You can actually pick what you want to study. So if I add this up to a full combination chart here, you see we have more than 350 major minor combination. And I'll just give you a couple of examples here for you to just understand this. For example, let's say I'm doing public policy as a major. I can minor in finance, marketing, operations, and la till the end, like design. So there are basically 21 possible minors for me if I'm doing public policy as a major, right? And I'll just go to the previous slide for a second. So here the subjects that are written at the at the bottom, these are the subjects they're offered, but only as minors. So I may take psychology as a major and take theater as a minor, or I may take economics as a major and take philosophy as a minor, like that. So with this, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here, and I'll put on the screen once again with my second question. So maybe you can have probably Vandana or Mohit to take a question from you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Anju, for giving us a detailed overview of what the courses in the curriculum looks like. And that's just wow, the number of combinations one could pick up as a major and minor. I wish I could go back to university again. Another question I have for if I'll throw that question to Mohit. So can you share how the university, while you were studying at Flame University, its entire interdisciplinary approach influenced your academic and personal growth, and how did it actually prepare you for your career ahead and your further studies ahead? Over to you, Mohit. Mohit, you're not audible to us. Can you please check your audio?
Yeah. Hello?
Mm,
Hello. Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
you're audible now. Perfect.
Okay, all right. Uh, so yeah, so I came in. So there's a lot to say here, okay? So I actually came in very unprepared for the whole liberal education thing. I mean, it was not something that I had in mind. I came looking very specifically for applied math, and Flame had it, so I came and I got it. And through Flame, I mean, I think because I've actually started to realize the value, especially after I graduated, of the whole liberal arts system, because I've picked up so many skills that are especially transferable. And like right now, I'm also still sort of exploring it, so many other options because of the skills that I pick up through my course in Flame. And like, I think I probably could have involved even more, but with whatever I've done, like I think I've explored a lot through Flame. I did my major in math, I did my minor in design. In my fourth year, I was actually able to do a philosophy paper. I was just interested. I approached the prof, and the whole year I worked on this whole paper on solipsism, which was a very random idea, something which I hadn't thought of before. And a lot of the skills, especially like, so through my design minor, a lot of them, it's helping me out with my current job, especially, and especially the social skills and the type of people you meet in Flame. It's like you are constantly exposed to like a lot of different ideologies and like different kinds of people, because like like there's so many varieties of majors and like ideas and like different things that people are involved in. And like I think that is in like influenced me in a great way. So like especially, so like with my philosophy paper, I only had very limited knowledge, like I'd say with whatever I learned in my math or like design. But then I started talking to a lot of people from different majors, and that actually developed my paper a lot. And so I think one example is Vandana. She helped me with a lot of concepts from her, whatever she learned from socio, and I have involved that a bit. I spoke to a few psychology students who also influenced my paper. And yeah, I think I'm really boiling down my whole experience in Flame. And I also took a guitar course in my fourth year. I've been learning guitar for the past year now. I've advanced a lot on that. I took a couple of film courses because my roommate was into filmmaking. I've shot, I think, 7 films over the last year. Yeah, short films. And I shot one with my friends here as a hobby, like in Dubai, like just for fun. And yeah, a lot of skills, like very transferable skills. And I had a lot of fun in Flame. And I'm only actually realizing the value now after I graduated from Flame. It was not something I consciously realized while I was there. But yeah, I think that sort of sums up how the liberal education system would have has influenced me. Briefly. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mohit. And I could say that's not actually just learning through an interdisciplinary approach, but that's actually applying interdisciplinary when you talk about taking up so many things together from different domains and being, able to collaborate and apply that. Great. Thank you. Vandana, you're currently studying in Flame, and I have a very specific question about your experience. So, how does the university's curriculum and the pedagogy, the teaching methods stand out for you? And more importantly, how have they impacted your entire learning experience? If you could throw some more light on that. Over to you,
Sure.
Vandana.
Hi. I think when I had a different experience from Mohit, I came in thinking I would major in economics, and I was thrown to the other end of the deep end of the pool, and I discovered new things in the first year. I think one of the biggest parts about Flame University is its classrooms and the professors who take the classes. We have so many diverse backgrounds. You have people in sociology who are teaching from, who've done their PhDs in economics and they're teaching in sociology. So they bring in their different interdisciplinary perspectives. That is one thing. The second is I came from a state syllabus school. So from there to come here, it was completely different. I was built on, rote learning and exams and stuff like that. But over here, I was pushed to read and come to class and engage with the class. We are graded on, the base. We have continuous assessments. It's not just one end term exam. We're constantly, assessed for, how much we bring into class, our personal experiences and our the way we engage with the reading. So it's more seminar style. And the professor sometimes takes a back seat and, helps moderate these discussions. So it feels like we're learning from our peers, essentially. And that's what made me choose sociology as a major, and public policy also just fit right in as a minor. And I would have never imagined that I would end up um, in uh, in the in the medical humanities. It was not something I thought was even a career option when I started my journey with sociology. And through classroom engagement and the things that you're exposed to, especially newer kinds of theories and knowledge that other programs might not have. I speak to my friends who are doing sociology elsewhere and not in liberal arts programs. They're doing theory that is more orthodox, and we're engaging with more material that's present empirically and in contemporary times, and it's fun. It's you don't feel bored of learning, and you also feel a lot in class. You don't just think. We learn how to feel for other people, and we learn how to engage with our peers, not just our professors. And yeah, I think the curriculum is set in such a way that you are pushed to think about research, which I think is a great skill to have, even for Mohit, who majored in applied math but did a dissertation in philosophy. And so you can combine so many different things. Me in sociology, thinking about doing something in medicine. It's beautiful the way in which you're pushed to think about the combinations, even beyond what is offered here. You yourself create new combinations because of the way in which the curriculum is structured. I also thought I would never do theater, but we're pushed to do performing arts in our first years. It's a mandate, and I've never done theater in my life, and I did it, and it's made me a better orator today. I can make better presentations in class, and I've gone to conferences, which helps. It's actually made me the person I am today because of the course, and because you're pushed to do different things that actually make you a person, not just someone who's ready for the job market, but ready to be a human being. So yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Vandana. That's wonderfully explained how you shared your journey and experience. Now, I have another question for you, Anju. While I was listening to Vandana and Mohi share their experience and how, talking about things like class engagement to social skills to even learning skills like empathy, cooperation, research, how does the university and its entire undergraduate programs make sure that the program focuses on holistic development for each and every student? So if you could throw some more light on that. Anju, you have to, I think, unmute yourself.
Yes, sorry. I know it's a lot of less zooming these days, so we just forget the basic hygiene. So anyway, Flame, when it comes to holistic learning and experience, I think, in my opinion, and please correct me, Vanna and Sunilesh, you're still there with us, and Mohit, you also. So basically, two tracks, all right. One is holistic in terms of your knowledge, in holistic in the sense how aware are you about the society, what you're learning. You're not learning in silo, basically, right? That's really important. So the entire first year, what I spoke about, that gives you a very, very holistic understanding of your interest, in what field you're interested, where you're not interested, what's inspiring you, or some of those things, right? And the second part is theory and practical and continuous assessment. All of this, we're absolutely, like, there are 50 kind of assessments here. Like, for literary and cultural studies, your assignment is assessed. For data science, they'll have something different kind of assessment. Similarly, for math, probably you gave a pen and paper test. So that depending on the subject, your assessment is designed like that. It's not like, again, a cookie cutter approach that everybody has to do a pen and paper test. That doesn't work. So you're doing, again, a very diverse sort of a, or maybe very genuine assessing. So that's what happens into the program, the academic program, and you learn then, right? And then you assess. Now the basic thing is, how do you apply or use it in the real life? And that's what a lot of educators say. When you just keep making students just study tuition, you are just feeding them so much that they're actually not even digesting it anymore, right? And it doesn't work well. You have to give students a place to reflect. If I've learned something and I'm not getting an opportunity to reflect, I don't think so. You're doing a full circle of learning, and then it'll just be there for some time, and your memory fades away, and then you lose. You don't even remember what you learned. So here we have number one. We have the research project, a very big one. It's a flagship program for us, Discover India program. And with my talk, I'm going to ask Vanna to share a little later what she did, so that the students know what I'm talking. So you have this research project where you go and actually, this is a reflection for you now. Whatever I learned in my class, whether it was my first year skills, or whether it's my specialization courses, or whether it's the skills that I learned in my club activities, whatever I've learned, I'm going to apply and reflect there. And that's how you get ready for the industry. Like Mohit was talking, he did so many things. We says, oh, actually the skills that I learned there, now I realize that I'm using them there, right? So that's what I meant when I said these are lifelong life skills, basically. One is Discover India program. It's a research project done by a group of people. They may be coming from different disciplines each, and it's completely student led, and you have a mentor. You decide onto a subject or a topic what you want to research. You do your secondary research, you do your primary research. It's a proper project, and I know for sure that a lot of students, based on their Discover India program, have gotten scholarships and admissions to some really top universities in the world, like really the top ones. And so that's the first part. Second part is your developmental activity program, which is done immediately after the first year summer, which is, again, you don't have to learn to just, learning can't be transactional, that I'm going to learn this and I'm going to get this. Learning must be for the sake of learning must be for the sake of sharing. So this is a beautiful platform, and I know I talk to so many students where they've actually taken advantage of this opportunity by going and working into a non-profit organization, and sharing their talent and improving some system there, and developing themselves. So again, a reflection. The third part is summer internship program, where if I'm studying data science, I'd got to go and work under in the industry, where I get to see what other data science professionals they're doing, not studying, what are their how does that career look like. And that is actually for two reasons. One reason is to understand and know the industry. Number two is to create network. And number three is to figure out, self-reflect. Am I having set of skills that the industry needs, and if not, guess what, you can come back and you still have a year left where you can take up courses and learn. At least you're still in the university and learn something, because in the university you can also take open electives. I may be doing A as a major, B as a minor. I can still take up C as an open elective course where I can explore some of the skills. And again, this I always advise students. They ask us, what are we offering? My counter question is, we are offering a lot. How ready are you to consume? And I can see Vandana smiling over there. Okay, how ready are you to consume here? I tell students, please come and exploit us, exploit that much we are offering. And of course, that's what happens in a university. You're not in a school, you ain't working yet. You're away from home, you're making your own decisions, so you have a balance. You're learning in classroom, you're mentored, you're having opportunities within the school, within the university, in lot of clubs. You also have opportunities to assist faculty in their research. You also do some experiential learning courses like I just mentioned, and there's so much more. I cannot finish very like quickly. I can just go on talking for an hour on this at least. So Vanna, please tell me about two things where you think you had an opportunity to reflect, whether it was something that I mentioned or maybe out of anywhere, something different, I mean.
I think something that you mentioned obviously is DIP, because I think I was very afraid when I did take the major that I didn't that I made a mistake, or that what is the scope for this discipline. And a lot of my friends were making jokes saying, in the arts no one makes any money, and like these jokes keep going around with the student body. But then we went ahead and we were doing this project called the DIP, and we were a group of 13 students who were mentored by Professor Sinjan Mukherjee, and we learned really how to firstly work with other people. I think that's the first setup where you learn to engage with one another, respect other people's differences. And a finance major and psychology majors, all of these people were also engaging in research skills, and they were engaging in skills not just in writing or talking to people and interviewing people, but also in documentary making, which is one of the goals of DIP, to also interrogate these skills, right? So we went to the Sundarbans, and we'd chosen that as our field site, and we studied human animal relationships over there, and we spoke to the locals over there and how they navigate their lives amidst the ongoing climate crisis, neoliberalism, and all of these big forces. And we were actually engaged in the field. We learned how to speak to other people, to learn from their experiences, not just learn from the experiences, but also be empathetic. And through that process, I was, firstly, I was humbled, and I also learned that this is a place I want to be. It made me decide that this is the career I want. I want to be in research, and I want to engage with people. And once the project was completed, it didn't stop just there. And I had applied to an international conference on behalf of my group to present the same project, and I got selected. And I went to Ireland and I presented it. Not just that, the Flame University has an undergraduate research committee that funded my entire trip. So, I was taken care of by my university and pushed to actually go and present my work in front of PhDs and established scholars. And as a third year undergraduate, I don't think any other place would have given me this opportunity. And it's one thing saying it looks great on my CV, but the other thing is it's actually made me exposed to the field I want to be in. And I don't think any other place would have given me this exposure. And I was very grateful to Flame. It was my third year, and I was actually not going to come back. But after this experience, I knew I had to come back and continue more research within this university. So yeah, that was a moment that actually really changed my life and made me decide what I wanted for myself.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing that, Vandana. I could feel from that, expression on your face that what a rewarding opportunity it was for you and what a memorable experience the entire program was for you. And I completely agree when Anju said is, learning is also sharing, and only a very cohesive environment and culture and a holistic environment and approach could make this possible. You did share such a rewarding experience. A very simple question, but $1 million question, because most of the students we talk to have this question. How do you balance academics with so many other activities? If you could just give some quick tips to our students.
Sure. I mean, I think I had to think a lot about this question in terms of how do we balance? Because I think Sunalesh should attest to this. It's very natural because once you're here, you are everywhere. You are. I was a part of the Flame Music Club for a year, and I engaged with the music club. I'm a musician, and I also went to an international conference, and I also managed my academics along with this. And initially, I used to think that going to a university means competition, means you're competing with your peers, means you're going to have to think about not the next person as a friend, but the next person as an enemy. But then I realized that slowly, like, all of us are learning together. Like, most of our assignments and the way the program is structured makes us work with each other. And you have to come to class and make sure the other person's also learning as much as you are. And so there's a lot of peer learning that happens here. We have a peer mentor system, and that was my real first introduction to balance, like what it means to do time management. Because a senior is telling me what it's like, to live in a new city for the first time, to move away from your parents and come to this residential campus. And, it's different, it's new, and you have someone being there with you, one call away if you need anything. If the convenience store is closed, someone will come and get, milk to your room if you want it. So this place, I think, is not really built on competition, but it's built on interdependence. Like we depend on each other for things, and we learn together. And I think that once you come here, your first reaction is to be overwhelmed, but then you realize that there've been students over here, and you look at them and they look at their experiences and lives, and you learn to like adjust. And it takes a while, but once you're in it, you just learn to love it.
Great. That's very beautifully put. I see how you've explained time management is just not a personal issue to solve. It's also where a lot of people, how a peer mentor program could help, or how a symbiotic relationship or cooperation or interdependence help you manage things together. Great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Mohit, I have another question. I know a lot of students here who have joined us for the session are aspiring students who would be applying for different range of courses at Flames. So, what advice would you like to give to all the high school students who would want to be applying to Flame University, and also particularly in terms of selecting the major and minor? Because I see a lot of time students being confused how to go about making that selection. So, your experience and being an alum could actually, your tips could help them. Over to you.
Okay. So I think you really have one advantage that you have in Flame is really have the space to sort of explore, like aside from like I'm sure a lot of you have like these one or two options which are like priority for you, and I'm sure that's always a hard decision. But there's also like even in the second year, you have a little bit of scope of changing it later on if you to change your mind. And then aside from that, having the option of a minor is also very useful. So like you can leave that as an open minor, or you can really explore your options with the minor. And if you really are excited or want to, you can even explore like extra courses aside from the ones that you take from major and minor. So like having all these options really lets you explore it. And like you don't really have to even if you're interested in some field remotely, may not be as your top two priority or like as your major minor, you can still try out a course or two, just like putting in that extra time. And it can always be that one course that changes it. So I think having that option to just be able to take that one extra course to try something out. Like for me, there were like I think so many one courses that changed a lot of my ideas. Like it was like one film course, it was like one guitar course, it was like one I did so many courses in my fourth year. It was fun. So yeah, I think just having that option to be able to choose that one extra course which doesn't have to align with your major and minor really sets it apart. So like it'll set a path for you later on possibly. You really can't tell. So like if you are interested, just give it that time and you have that option in Flame. So I think that's very useful. And if you have no idea at all, I mean, through your first year, I think you have to a lot of different options and you will end up having some idea by the end. So you'll be able to narrow it down and then it'll sort of work out. And yeah, I think just go for that, even the one course that you attempted for, I'd say, I'll probably set you in a different path. But yeah.
I have a question for you, Mohit. What is that one thing that you think you would have done do you miss that you did not do a certain thing, or do you have any kind of regrets, like, or because
Actually, I do.
from that we can give an advice so that the others don't have those. I mean, I'm just trying to help these kids here in the room today.
Yeah, so I'd say with the clubs in Flame, I think there's so much opportunity there, and I didn't use it at all. Like in my fourth year, I finally decided to join a club because in my head I was like, oh my God, executive committee, some committee and all. They're like, you need to have some knowledge and all. I mean, you do. You can get in and you learn in a lot. So like I was really interested in travel club, and I was hesitant to join the travel club for my 3 years. And I didn't join any club for my first 3 years. And in my fourth year, I finally got the courage to join the travel club. And still, I wish I joined high position. I could have done a lot more. I got the courage to join the travel club after doing 12 trips in 1 year in India, out of which I did seven solo. And like, but then the thing is, in the fourth year when I joined the club, I actually took, because of joining the travel club, I got the courage to join other social activities. So I took part in Flame Fest. I took part in TEDx just a little before that. And like, they were all small, small stuff. I think I started too late. I should have started earlier, so I would have been more involved. So I think from your second year itself, I mean, first year itself, you should just like, go all in.
So
Just
the
get into
advice could
clubs.
be that
Yeah.
beyond your academics, maybe
Yeah.
you join. If you don't like, leave it. But
Yeah. Yeah.
do it
Exactly.
so that, I mean, this is what I would put it in a nutshell. Like, students must take, but don't overdo it, because then I always tell, like, when Vandana was asked a question about time management, or I mean, she covered basically, is something you can't just be joining this club and be the Miss Popular or Mr. Popular and then forget about your assignments, because you don't get assignments that you can finish one night before your submission at Flame. You need involvement of the whole term. Am I right, Vandana? You can't finish your assignments, like, it's not like a textbook you'll open and you'll copy some 10-15 pages and you're assigned. It's nothing, no assignment is like that at Flame. So don't be too distracted. But like what Mohit is saying, he has that thing, maybe he could have learned or been part of some more thing. I mean, your network would have been slightly different. You would have made more friends. That's also such a big thing. Like, in college, if you make good number of friends, you don't know what all opportunities can come together, and great. So thank you so much, Mohit, for that.
Great. Yes. So I think that's a takeaway for all our students, explore, experiment. There's so many opportunities out there, use them. And that's the beauty of liberal education. You're spoiled for choices, but you also know what to pick up, explore, see what works for you, and so on and so forth. Well, another question, pretty direct one for you, Anju. A lot of students keep asking us about the process, because we also know that the entire process for Flame and liberal education differs from a lot of other traditional universities. So, if you could throw some more light on the entire application process, the aptitude test considered, the eligibility criteria, and also if there are specific scholarship opportunities available.
Great. So before that, I'm just going to tell Sutapa Datta.
Yes, ma'am. I was just going
Yeah,
to request
yeah,
you
yeah,
on
yeah.
to that.
If you can just answer that, I'll also answer after my question, which has been asked. So, Sana, when the students apply to the university, you wanted me to cover the application part, right?
Yes, how do they go to
How
they
to the
basically know
entire
where to
process.
start.
So the
Yeah.
basic thing is, at Flame University, we follow a similar system like in the US or UK probably. So we start with our early applications, and just in 3 days on the 1st of December is our early deadline for our early decision cycle. We open our application portal somewhere in the first week of October. Students do not need a grade 12 certificate to apply to Flame University. You just apply with your grade 10 and 11. You finish your application. The application is pretty simple. There are two parts of the application. First part is just filling up your details, yours, your family's, your academic details, where you just fill in your numbers or names or whatever. Then you pay 2,000 rupees as an application fee. We have an application fee to the university, I mean, for undergraduate application. The second part allows you to update your profile, to give us your, if my date of birth is 27 July, now I have to put a date of birth certificate or an Aadhaar card. If I've said I had 86% in 10th, now I have to put a transcript here. If I have, like, basically you put in your evidences in the application now, because now we want the evidence. Then we ask you for all your achievements. A lot of schools today are offering a very holistic learning environment, and students get to do so many things apart from their just the language, math, and the other subjects. So we want to know what all your interest areas have been and what profile have you built in. Upload that profile. For that, I can give you a tip. Probably you can make 2 separate PDFs where you can say, the academic co-curriculars and sports and cultural co-curriculars. Academic would be maybe you've participated in some debate or some Olympiads, or you've taken some extra tests and all that stuff. And sports and co-curricular, as the name suggests, and then upload that in the application. Once you do that, you fill in a statement of purpose. We do give some 3 cues to students where we want to know more about what they think about their own self. It's a very simple questions that we put, and once that is done, your application is over. Once the application is over, so when you're filling the application, maybe even in November, you can choose the April cycle. Maybe somewhere by December you feel that, hey, you know what, now I feel more confident. You can write to us that I don't want April cycle, can you help me move that to January? If it's feasible, you have to write to us on an email, and then we can help you with that. But any which ways, then the day comes where you receive your aptitude test link, and all the rules and regulations are given. How do you attempt? It's an online test, it's AI proctored platform, and you finish your test, then you're asked to attend an interview by the faculty, and then within 2-3 weeks we declare the result. Now the result you get is either the letter will say you've been shortlisted. You can pay up your fee to block your seat, or you will get a mail saying that you've been shortlisted with the scholarship, because we give merit scholarship without asking. Or you may get a mail that, sorry, you've not been selected. And in that case, if you're still very keen, you can reach back to your program advisors or that's my team, and we can give you a little feedback whether you can apply one more time, because any student can apply twice in one academic cycle. So that's all the application and selection process. We give scholarship to the armed forces, all like Army, Navy, Air Force. Again, for that you have to after you've been selected, you have to write to us. If there's a special talent, for example, there's somebody who's done fabulous in sports, all right, but and you've been shortlisted, you can please write to us and saying that, this is the value that I'm going to get to the university, and I need some special scholarship, and you can negotiate with us. So these are the basic kind of thing, typically like how you would do in an international university, I would say.
So much, Anju. That gives all our participants and students an overview. Students, remember, like Anju mentioned, you can apply twice in the same, your admission cycle. So in case you don't get through first time, you have that option of applying again. And you mentioned about multiple scholarships. So students also remember that there are different ways to apply for it. Like Anju mentioned, for the merit ones, they're already looking at it and giving you one. Anju, it would be great if you could throw some light on what about need-based scholarship. Do students need to separately apply, and what is the timeline for that? We have some questions related to it.
All right. So need-based scholarship is every university has their own criterias. We also have some, and I think if I'm not wrong, anybody between 8 to 10 lakh of annual salary of the parents can apply for it. Even if it's more, you can still write to us, request to us, if that really helps you and you've been selected. So for need-based scholarship, you have to get selected first, right? Once you've been selected, then you can apply to us need based by sending us supporting documents. And once you ask that you need a financial aid, the team will send you a mail saying that we want these documents, and then there's a committee that will review and give you a need-based scholarship. We are very generous. I think 35% of our students are on scholarship, and that number is still increasing. So yes, there is a scope for students to get financial aid, but the first criteria will be to get selected through the whole process.
Okay.
Sometimes there's single parents, or there's some challenges, family business has uh, you know failed or something, any crisis, financial crisis a family goes through, you can also even those families also write to us, and that can happen even when you're in the second or third year. All right, so you finish 2 years and third year, there's something drastically that has happened. It can happen. It's a, like we say, it's a VUCA world we're living in. Like, so many, sometimes things just go south. So you can just write to us, and you don't need to leave your education at any cost. That's something that we are very, very, we're known for that. Yes.
Great. So you first apply, and then you go about
And you, yes.
writing in terms of whatever scholarship you're requesting for. Also, if you could throw some light on the general fee structure, like not course specific, but in overall, some people in the audience want to know that.
Sure, sure,
And
sure.
also, if there are any different rules for NRIs, or do they go through the same
I'll cover
process?
that. I'll cover all about the fees. So the annual fee is right now, I think, 10,90,000, which includes your accommodation, which includes your food, your basic laundry, your basic accommodation, and then of course we have two kind of accommodations where it can be, this one is a regular accommodation for there's a group of students staying together, and they have common toilets, and 3 rooms are together, and students live in there. The second one is one room with attached toilets, and then the second one also has the AC, but we do not promise or guarantee you a certain kind of accommodation, because that's something that we cannot suddenly change last minute depending on demand and supply, right? So it sometimes you may be disappointed where you've asked for an AC accommodation and you didn't get, or sometimes you didn't want an AC accommodation but the one available is only AC. So these few odd cases happen here and there. But this 10 lakh 90,000, you can just round it up to 11 lakh rupees, is something which is your annual fee. And this is the fee for every single individual, whether you're an NRI or you're an expat or you're an Indian or anything. That's the only fee that we have, and it can be paid in couple of installments. Scholarships I've mentioned, yeah.
Any specific rules for NRIs?
No.
So they go through the same process.
Absolutely. Yeah. We've got so many students, who are NRIs. They just apply, and it's the same fee. They don't have to have any. There's no. I mean, financially, there's no extra thing that they pay at all.
Perfect.
In fact,
So
yeah,
the
I just
entire
want to ask
criteria.
Vandana how her entrance. I know it's been a while now, but if you remember anything, any tip
I
that you
do.
want to give students
Yeah.
about, how your entrance test was and what did you
Yeah.
prepare for, just little
Yeah,
bit.
so I mean it's been a while, but I had actually written my SATs. So I submitted
Good
my
one.
SAT scores
Yeah.
for the application cycle, and I think it's best to apply early because then you have in general you know the process better. It also gives you a chance to apply again in case you don't get in. So it's best to
Yeah.
apply early. I think that I also think there is merit to focusing on your statement of purpose and what you write because people read them. They do read them. I know it feels like they won't, but they do because I was asked questions in my interview about it. So you should be able to prepare for that. Maybe not just bring about your academic achievements, but also why you want to pursue a liberal arts program, like what makes you a good candidate, and showcase your your personality and what makes you able to be in this space. So focus on writing about your personal experience, your academic experience, your experience with the world and questions you have for the world and things like that. I also think that you should you should also present the sides of you that you might think, don't matter in an academic setting. Like the singing and dancing and anything professionally that you have done and engaged with at that age, especially community service work, which I had engaged with a lot during my 11th and 12th. And all of this helps your profile. I think I also got a full scholarship when I started out in my first year, and I didn't have to email Flame for a scholarship. They had given it with my application results. So I think you should keep these things in mind. And, I would also suggest exploring the SATs. It's a good option to do. It gives you an experience of a large entrance test. And also, it allows you to submit that score to Flame if you've done well. So yeah, that's been my experience with the application process from what I can remember.
So well articulated, I think. Lovely, thanks. So I missed that point. Thank you for bringing up. So if you've taken any common entrance like SATs or for a design program, if you've taken USEED NID, you can get away with our aptitude test. And then in that case, you only do an on-the-spot essay and an interview. And what Manna said, yes, they do, the faculty does read everything, so they know what have you scored, they know what your feat entrance test is, they know what you've written in your statement of purpose, and now you're talking to them. So if you've just frilled and fancied too much in your statement of purpose, so please don't be surprised if some question comes there. And so that's something that should be mindful. And finish all the process yourself. If write the statement of purpose yourself, you can consult your counselor, your parents, to read it and guide you what not to write, or just tell you, but you do it yourself. So that's something that helps.
Great. Thank you so much, Anju, Vandana, and Mohit, for sharing your experience and taking all the students through the entire process, programs, how to go about it. We've taken most of the questions. If there are more questions specific to the university, the programs, you can share it with us. We'll be happy to direct. If you need further help, we're there to help you. But thank you so much for your time, for in such an interactive, lovely, way sharing your experience. I'm sure this was really helpful for all the students and the educators who joined us. Thank you so much, and over to you, Tulika.
Thank you so much, Sana, and a very big thank you to the Flame team. The experiences that you guys have shared, the information that Anju you have provided, it really feels like if given an opportunity again to do my college again, I wouldn't think twice like before going into Flame. So thank you all the participants, the students, parents, educators who have joined in today for this lovely webinar, which was given to by Mindler and Flame together. So if you are want to explore more liberal education opportunities, and you want, like you have, as Sana mentioned, if you have any further queries, you have any further doubts, you want to know more about the steps and how to register for Flame or any other application support, our team is here to guide you and provide more personalized insights. So there is a registration form that has been shared on the chat box. Please fill the registration form. And if you have any doubts, concerns, queries, please reach out to us. We'll definitely revert back to you with all the possible answer. Thank you once again, Team Flame, Team Mindler.
I'll just, Tulika, just Sunilesh, is there any question that's, because, sometimes people just get a little upset if, if we give the
Ma'am,
option of live audience and we're not able to answer,
I think most questions are covered. There's just one aspect, if you could just emphasize on, is the placements. If you could
Okay,
just a little bit on the
all right, all
placements,
right.
I think that will cover all of it.
Great. So, I'll just quickly share here again. And again, this is not the most updated data that I have here, but just a quick one. I wish we were able to show that video to all of you, but then, so this is something that, so there are two things about placements here. Number one, about almost 60% of our students pursue their master's program, whether in India. Sorry, that was my dog. He loved the session. So most of the students, 60% of our students are pursuing, going for their higher education, I mean, for in the grad school, in India, overseas. And I have, a slide on that. Okay, sorry, I'll just quickly share. So there's students going to so many places, and this is just few of them that we've written here, right here, sorry. So, I mean, and this is just, we put the names that people want us to see whether they're going because they're just well recognized. And for parents and student, it's just for you to know for the sake that, okay, you know, the students who are taking the degree from Frame University are going places. Okay, nothing more. We absolutely honor and respect our students who go to maybe less popular university and still doing great, right? So this is something very personal. These are the places where the students have are working. This data keeps changing, and we keep updating it. So everybody who comes here, who applies for a job in the with the placement office, goes through certain interviews. You have some sessions that the placements office takes individually. We call industry experts. Those industry experts speak to the students and talk to them, help them prepare themselves, and then you can apply. And this is, I think I also say that it's not only what university can you, how interested are you to apply to where you want to, and how hard are you working. So it's a two-way question always. But yes, the students are doing well. A lot of students also go back to their family businesses, take that little gap of working for 1 or 2 years, then again go for masters. So there are lots of career trajectories that we have here. So I hope I was able to share that answer.
Right. Thank you so much, Anju. So Nilesh, I hope we don't have any other further questions that you want.
Most of the questions are covered, ma'am. Yeah, either in the
Alright.
live session or through text.
Right. Participants, if there are any further questions, Anju's email ID is also there. We have Mindler has shared their email ID and the forms. Any doubts, questions, you can reach out to us directly, and both of us will answer any concerns that you have. So thank you
Yeah.
so much once again, everyone, for joining in. Yes, Anju.
So there was a question from someone about asking about students from Zimbabwe. I just texted, so maybe I shared my email ID. If I can get a mail, we can have a conversation. And yes, we do have students from there. We started last year, and I'm so amazed and surprised to see these students do so well, and they're on 100% scholarship, in fact. So I'll be very happy to any of the counselors who want to reach out will be happy. And thank you, Mindler, for giving us a fabulous opportunity to connect us with right kind of audience where we could just get our way through.
Ma'am, also if you could share about the student ambassador and the option available to all students.
Student ambassadors?
But yeah, the chat with student ambassadors option.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you can just go onto the website and register yourself with us on the website, chat with student ambassadors, and there are about 40 plus profile of students doing different kind of combinations, and these are unscripted conversations, but you have to register because we also want to protect our students who are available for so you have to sign a document to follow certain rules, because it's, again, like I say, everything is both ways for us. We take care of our students and we'll take care of you also, and you need to respect some norms. Students normally reply to those questions within 24 hours, and they'll tell you can ask them about a particular subject, you can ask them about student life, you can ask them about anything that you feel is important to you. Yeah, that's about it.
Right. Once again, thank you so much, everyone. I hope you'll have a good evening. So it's already 8. We are already past time. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining today's webinar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tulika. Thank you.